Dr. Pepper.
I can't believe you timed that to literally just of the first words they hear be you saying Dr. Pepper. I was literally counting down to when I hit the unmute button. I go 3, 2, 1. I just says Dr. Pepper. Oh my god.
There we go. Bam! I just warmed up the whole stream in 5 seconds. That's
is good to be
efficiency.
back, yes.
So yes, there you go. I won't hit the table again. We have talked at length. We've held many committee meetings. We formed a few quangos about the table hitting issue because we don't have shock mics. And the best that I could come up with is that somebody in the team cable ties me and Matt's hands behind our backs so that we can't hit the table and destroy your listening experience. So let's not do that. Let's keep their listening experience good. We have plenty of things to talk about today, including Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, we're not really going to talk about too much except for the fact that, did you know that at least in the UK you can buy 24 cans of Dr. Pepper on Amazon for £8 and have them delivered to your office and fill the fridge with them?
Yes.
And then basically be a Dr. Pepper terrorist for everyone around you for a while?
Yeah, I know. He did this. He did this to me. And it's not even Diet Dr. Pepper. One of the rarest beverages.
If I had a way to access Dr. Pepper Zero regularly, I would be probably one of the happiest people alive. However, unfortunately, you kind of can't do it. It just isn't a thing, apparently.
Damn.
Allegedly, anyway. You can get a bottle of it in Boots, but you can't buy 24 of them for £8.
Do you think that's the mythical antidepressant that Liz Truss is on? Has she found Diet Dr. Pepper? Is that why she's so happy at the Fringe?
Possibly.
Very good. Right, well, I will stop making obscure references to has-been Prime Minister's Instagram posts. It's the week. It's the week where everything's going to start happening. Early access. The fun thing about early access will be people will log in, they'll realize some things are there, some things aren't there. Then the game will come out, and then 2 weeks later, most of the things that people associate with the game will actually be there. So that will be fun.
Yeah, I actually have something I want to start this with.
Oh.
I wanted to start this with, because the title says, is early access worth it? I want to put the question is, how many of you actually have bought the Epic or will? So I'll say, have you or will you be in early access?
We have any Epic gamers in the chat?
Are
you a heroic gamer? Or are you...
Yeah, so I've started a poll, so please answer that at your leisure. But I have, there's a lot of people saying I got it. Yep, have not, will not. See, there's a lot of people going, yes, I will have it and I want it, etc. And then there's a lot of people who won't buy it or haven't got it. Comes from a principle perspective. Comes from a early access. As I saw a lot of you talking about it in the pre-chat, there's a lot of, no, early access for an MMO is scummy shithead behavior and I will not support it.
Yeah, I can't believe Yoshi P did that to us. Irredeemable bastard.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing. And people brought this up the last time we had that discussion. People brought up that they didn't charge extra for that. That was just a pre-order bonus. But over here, Blizzard say give us more money to play early, which makes it very, very different. Very different. And yeah, I come from that ain't worth 30 to 40 extra euros
well,
stance.
You know what?
Well, it's not extra 30 to 40 euros, you see, because you actually also get a month of game time, so it's actually subsidized a little bit, all that stuff, It's a little bit of that. And then you have the obviously, sorry for working and being able to buy it approach.
Well, you see, here's the thing. Japanese stock market just got spooked. American stock market, strong as ever. Yoshi P doesn't charge for early access. Blizzard Entertainment does charge from early access. American exceptionalism wins again.
Sure.
There we go.
Sure. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it, absolutely.
I unfortunately must confess to being an Epic gamer. Unfortunately, Matt is also an Epic gamer, and I think our whole team are Epic gamers because it would be very silly of us to not have access to the War Within as soon as we can. Even though we could technically just keep on playing in the beta. I wonder when
if they don't pull it, yeah.
Yeah, when will they pull the beta servers down?
Which is actually something that I'm a little bit worried about because I have a lot of things I still need to do on beta.
Yep, same.
because obviously, you know, the season doesn't launch until September 10th in about 7 calendar years. It feels that way.
Just upload the beta build to ChatGPT.
Fantastic.
There we go.
That'll work.
Yes, use their new gamer plugin. Oh, you don't even have to play games anymore. You just have to prompt. So, right, things. Let's talk about release. The 22nd. And time. And this is one of, honestly, this is a freak thing that's happening at a very, an increasing cadence. I keep on becoming a little bit green, a little bit jealous over the Australians.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm beginning to realize it seems like they have a pretty good quality of life over there. And even worse, they have their video game come out at 8 a.m.
8 a.m., yeah, that's brutal. Whereas we, absolute morons living in British summertime, 11 o'clock at night, which is like, that's like, you want to do some DJing gaming, right? You want to play a good, let's say a good 16 hours straight, because you're that kind of person. And maybe you don't have the stamina for that anymore. That's okay. But you do that over in Sydney or do that in Seoul or wherever else, you're fine. You take your day off work, you tell your friends and family to go away, or something less polite, and then you play for 16 hours, go to bed, happy enough. But then it's us, it's like, oh yeah, well, you're going to play for an hour and go to bed?
Well, you can't do that in Seoul, because you've got to work 85 days a week.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So,
Of course
so it's really probably only the Aussies.
Yeah.
And for everyone, as sometimes people here would say, for everyone in the continent.
The continent. I love that.
Yeah. Midnight server time. So it's a global release. You know what? Pretty good for all of our American friends. You guys get to play at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. And then, of course, the global release times are all the exact same, but just a few days later. Now, the thing is, what can you actually do during early access? And turns out, Mezzy here has made a big graph.
Beautiful. Let me just make sure that's not being too obscured. That is being very obscured, but it's fine. Dear. You know what the dungeons are. It's fine.
Yes. So, basically, heroic dungeons, no. Normal dungeons, yes. Delves beyond tier 3? No. Delves with gear that can be upgraded? No. Heroic dungeons with gear that can be upgraded? No. Gear upgrades? No. World quests? No. World events? No. Have I got most of it? Battlegrounds? No.
Yeah.
Bloody tokens? No. Honor? Capped to 4,000. I think I've got most.
Yeah.
I was writing stuff for this for our site a little bit ago. Yeah, basically, the point is, play. This is shocking. This is shocking. So, the bit that's like the big expensive game bit, that's all there. Basically, this is weird. You get to play the pretty much the whole game, but without the treadmill bit at the end. Go have fun.
For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
You can do a little bit of it in PvP, but not very much, which is that kind of awkward thing.
Yeah, so basically, just you can level, you can get your hero talents, you can, get to level 80. I'm not 100% sure about the war with... I don't know about the end game campaign. I have to imagine that's kept behind.
That's a good question. I think they are pacing that I heard they're pacing that endgame out over the first couple of weeks, I think.
Okay.
I think. Just because it would make sense, because they are trying to tell this as a story, right? So is this thing that they decided to put in an MMO for some reason? I don't know why. It's a kind of new thing. It's called a story, I think. So they put that in the game, and I think something tells me they're going to pace that a little bit over the first couple of weeks until the raid launches.
Yep.
Just I don't think you can zerg it all. Not super sure on that. Profession knowledge points. Yeah, I think that falls under profession weeklies. Anything that's going to actually give you what is considered permanent progress is actually gated behind that first weekly reset.
Yep. So if your entire game plan was to buy the game on launch day, level up before the first weekly reset, because it used to be, I think they killed it last time, but people could level so fast they could actually double dip in the weekly by basically capping their character, finishing the weekly rapper quest, And then the first reset of the expansion would begin. And I guess the other thing as well, the Great Vault will be closed.
Yeah.
Now, all of this, by the way, is basically good. Because I know that some people will see all this and think, oh my god, I can't do things. But it's very important for the sake of fairness. And that seems to be something they're extending to the gear. So you can get eye level 541 from normal dungeons, and I think 554 from a tier 3 delve. Non-upgradable. Now, when you get that gear later on, it will be upgradable, of course, but during the early access period, it won't be upgradable, which basically means you can get your character ready in a sense, but for gear that, you'll actually perhaps take with you, like that stuff doesn't really matter, and that's obviously good for the sake of fairness.
Yeah, the thing that's really kind of weird about it, more than anything else, is... How do I put this? They've taken the point of early access away in a huge way. In a way that's, like, kind of fair. And obviously you kind of go, well, obviously that's fair, right?
Well, that's why it's hilarious.
Yeah,
they're giving you early access, but when we hear early access, we don't think about early access.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward. So, like, I kind of praise them on with one hand, going, good job, you aren't charging, you aren't going to let people who have more money or more gold get ahead. There you go, wonderful. At the same time, you're like, what are you charging us for then? You're charging us for leveling time, which is still going to be important for people who have a whole bunch of alts. Now, they have done quite a lot to actually kill, like, profession bonuses for having a bunch of alts. They've actually done a lot of good work to get rid of that. Which is going to be like, people who want the experience of getting ahead aren't going to be able to get that.
Yep.
Which means it's not going to feel worth it in any capacity. That's what I kind of think is interesting.
What they're really selling is that you can enjoy playing the expansion, doing the story, leveling your characters this weekend.
Yeah.
That's the sell.
That, and also if you want to take your time with the story a little bit more, you can do that. Obviously, that's already baked in terms of the, like, season starting later. But you look at, like, weekly quests, world quests, profession stuff a day after the game launches. Yeah. And I think... No, I don't think this is going to be a big deal, right? I don't think this is a big deal at all. But I do think that this is a little bit of a slap in the face to, like, the sacred launch window. But I'm saying that from the perspective of also, thank God.
Can't believe it. Ian, you've slapped the sacred window. Oh,
yeah,
no.
Yeah, so remember Warlords of Draenor, or Cataclysm, or Miss Pandaria,
Yes.
or Wrath of Lich King, or Burning Crusade. Basically, remember any expansion that wasn't Legion or BFA? Yeah, turns out they're splitting now. Obviously, I'll keep the poll rolling, but at the minute, the answer to have you or will you be in early access, 59% of you, of about 1,800 votes, have said yes. 41% have said no.
I've seen similar on people doing YouTube community post polls.
I've seen it on Twitter polls as well.
And Twitter,
so we seem to be leaning a little bit towards that 60% to 40%.
Oh, that's a good sales mix.
Yeah, it's a good sales mix. And it's also, you've just put, how many players are going to be in there at the peak that's going to crush your servers? Oh, you've just changed that. You've just removed a massive launch day nightmare by doing this. Because obviously they also had the, they've avoided splitting people up at the start. This is, everyone is on the shore of the Isle of Dorne. And that was going to be a problem. So there's a couple of different things like that I'm not saying this is really the wonderful, brilliant genius of Blizzard Entertainment to solve this problem, because there's other ways they could do it, and they could also just make the servers work.
Yeah, it also hasn't been as much of a problem in the past. Dragonflight definitely needed a bit more QA and bug fixing, but I think in terms of servers falling over,
DF and Shadowlands were both really good on that front. Despite everyone being funneled through the maw.
What's the one that was a disaster?
Was WoD?
I remember.
WoD was the
I remember WoD
disaster.
was a disaster, but there was one where, like, if you were in Draenor EU, I think it was just like, okay, I was in Draenor AU and I spent half of my launch night playing Mount and Blade Warband. So I have to assume that there were server lock-in problems.
You know what, Frankenberry? You're right. I did forget about the boat. Remember the Dragonflight boat?
The dragon, that's what it was, the boat.
They had to
Yes.
turn the boat off and use the portal instead. That's right.
Yep, that's good.
That's right.
So overall, is it worth it? Basically, that's up to you.
It's a
I mean,
value
it's
judgment, like.
it's worth it to us for very obvious reasons. If I wasn't doing this, it would entirely depend for me on the weekend, where if I had a free and clear weekend, then hell yeah, I probably would get that. And I suppose that's why they're pricing. I don't want to say it's tricky, because obviously I would rather this wasn't a thing. For the abundance of clarity. No. It's better without any of this. But it's always when you say something and follow it up with "but," you sort of do shoot your point in the head before you've even spoken it. I suppose the point is they are targeting people with different value propositions in the same way that like a film would come out, and maybe there'd be day one streaming. I'm sure many now departed directors are spinning in their graves and, whatever. But most of us would look at rent this movie, $17.99, and we'd think that's absolutely ghastly. But then other people will look at that and think, oh, that's a lot cheaper than 4 tickets for my, for me and the kids or whatever. So, I'm just rambling about value propositions, aren't I? Yeah. Basically, there's a bunch of people who will, if they have that weekend free, they'll obviously pay more money to access thing now.
Yeah.
Because also work.
Yeah.
If it doesn't disrupt your, your work time.
There is also just having it earlier. People want thing.
Yeah.
People want thing now. That's literally like an insane amount of, why FOMO drive sales and all this. Because obviously you think of the MMO and go, oh, well, people want into the shared experience faster for benefits. But it's also like loads of games will turn around and go, we're going to give you 3 days early access. You all right over there?
I'm just imagining the advert. Do you want access to the shared experience for benefits? Pre-order now. There's a sort of I don't know. It's good generic shitpost marketing. So, early access, is it worth it? That's basically up to you.
Yeah, the answer is probably, I don't know. For
would
me,
it,
yes, but...
Would it be worth it to me in the past? No. Would it be worth it to me now? Yes.
That's a very good point. If you transplant this to TBC or Wrath, it'd be a very different story.
Oh, I'm not buying. Yeah,
that's
I'm not
because
buying
of the general wealth of the player base. As obviously as you see by all of the extra monetization they do via cosmetics and things like that, which is different from the past.
Yep, the early access would only be worth it to me if it was a winter release, there was snow outside, and I could edit the BBC website to say that my school was closed, and then show my parents the website and be like, look, Mum and Dad, no school! Cataclysm, which is what I did in Cataclysm, which, was kind of needed because, man, the initial leveling experience of Cataclysm was pretty long.
Yeah.
I remember, because that was the first time that they'd compressed it, and the only time, thankfully, they compressed it into 5 levels. Level 84.
Brutal.
That was hard times. So, there you go, early access. Honestly, I'm personally, big excited. As has now been revealed, this is, sorry, I was thinking of, because they're not a thing over here at all. But I know in America people do gender reveal parties. I keep on remembering all of the, the news stories of these people inadvertently created a pipe bomb for their gender reveal party.
Yeah, I've far too many of those, man.
Now that, of course, we've published the choosing a main video. And I've done my main character reveal and thankfully not accidentally built a pipe bomb and killed myself. I'm quite looking forward to just leveling up characters. And I suppose, right, if you want to hyper game it, big hyper gamer, you do get a 5% XP boost for every character you get to level 80, capped at 5. With 5 characters, 25% boost. So I'm probably going to be just getting characters ready. I obviously want to do that in a way that's not like burning out or anything like that. It'll be interesting to see how the XP is balanced, though, because there's such a difference in how many campaign quests there are to side quests.
Yeah.
I remember you found somebody had like, I think they pulled data from the API or whatever, and it was just like the raw number of quests. And if you just looked at the campaign, you're just going to think like, Holly, where's 2/3 of the expansion gone? And then you look at the number of side quests, and it's absolutely big, and it turns out that's where the rest of the expansion is. So I'm also wondering, can I level up 3 characters and have mostly distinct experiences? Like, what happens if I just do a generalist playthrough in character 1, and then in character 2 decide I'm going to 100% every side quest in the first 2 zones, and then maybe in character 3, 100% in the other 2 zones? Would that be enough for me to get 3 decently distinct experiences? I don't know. I haven't tested it. We'll see.
I think so.
Good.
I think so. I'm not super sure where, like, so I haven't actually tested the adventure mode. I'm not sure if they level bracket off later zones or not, or if you can just bounce into Ashgahead.
Do
70
they
and do stuff?
You know,
Because
they used to call it adventure mode.
Yeah, it's still called that, I think.
The
Or
threads of fate.
Yeah, they say something along those lines when you hit, in the same way when you hit 80, it goes adventure mode. You can do world quests on your alts now before finishing the campaign.
Brackets, they don't exist yet.
Yeah, exactly. So before we move on, I did want to say one last thing that was kind of in my head. I've seen people talk about it, and it is the fact that this is maybe not an expansion that's going to be releasing in the cleanest of forms. Now, I have nothing to go on outside of the fact that the last patch bricked the game, this patch bricked the game, and beta has had bugs that are really funny that have been there the whole time.
But Matt, if you want to build a wall, you need bricks.
Yeah. So if all these guys do these days is whiners. Have we been whining at all? I don't think so. I think we've been pretty...
I mean, Matt, you've been talking about bricks, but not in the context of construction.
Yeah. I don't know.
You're like, this patch, dead. Last patch, dead. This expansion, doomed.
That is true. But it does come from a very... Could you maybe, if you're trying to get early access to the expansion, do please be aware that there is a decent chance it's not super, super, super clean and clear and under control.
Well, it's
or
good
whatever the
because
clear salad was.
For such a long time, Americans have beta tested patches for the first 12 hours, whereas with early access, global release, we all get to be your beta testers, as well as also doing the beta test and the alpha test.
So I was doing a delve today, right? And Bran, I died because I'm bad at the game. And then Bran left my party.
Yeah,
and then
serves you right.
And then it's just like it happens sometimes where he'll leave.
The Bran AI is too good.
Like they'll despawn him and then they'll respawn him in. And sometimes when he spawns in, he doesn't join your party. He's there, but he's not in your party.
Yeah.
So you don't see the unit frame to like heal him or support him or anything. It's just like, well, I guess Bran just went, this scrub? No, thank you.
Yeah, Microsoft evidently didn't fire their AI ethics committee. They just moved to the Blizzard team to protect Bran from you.
Class. Very good. Very good. Dear me.
Something for early access. There'll be a little bit of leveling up Bran and doing those things, but it's a little bit limited by you only being able to do the first 3 tiers of Delve, which isn't really a bad thing because, implications, gearing and stuff. I have seen some people say that bountiful delves may be a way to get some good gear during our early access, but
I don't imagine they'll be turned on.
Yeah.
Also,
I 100% imagine bountiful delves will not be on for that.
Also, the vast majority of your keys for bountiful delves come from world quests, which won't be turned on. So.
There you go. Yeah.
So, there you have it.
Overall, I am excited. As
I was telling you before stream,
I to go.
I'm excited, but with the asterisk that I've done so much of it on beta that I'm only really interested in the season. Now, I haven't been like those crazy M plus pushers who literally treat beta like it's a full season.
It's pre-season.
Like they actually the like just trying to do some testing and stuff. The fucking groups I've been in, dude. People are almost more toxic on beta than they are on live. It's crazy. Anyway, that's the kind of thing where I like the early access. Whatever, I'll play it. That'll be great. It's fine. Launch, same, excellent. But the game doesn't really start for me until the season starts, which is funny because I'm not like a big seasonal gamer. It's just like I've done all the stuff that isn't that kind of, which is awkward. But
Yeah, I see that. That's it's the downside of testing. It's why actually whenever Blizzard were heavily pushing the monetization of beta access, my main message to everyone is, for the love of God, don't pay money to enjoy the game less when it comes out. Because, that's like an inherent part of our job risk. The thing that will be different, though, full implementation of music, cinematics being, not being encrypted. So I've got to imagine there'll be a few surprises. Hopefully a little bit more than, because I remember that happened with Shadowlands, and it was just, Prince Renethal got jobbed.
Who?
Your man, we Prince, mate.
Who?
Small Denathrius.
Yeah, I know.
So that'll bring us stuff. No, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, what's next in the doc talk with him?
Oh yeah, the thing I forgot to say, I'm looking forward to it because, a little bit of Paladin and, get to be a Paladin. Too many jokes went through my head. None of them have made the cut, thankfully. Hunter, actually. That's the other thing. I'm somehow sort of down for Survival Hunter. Some of that's because I think just the vibes of it are pretty good. The transmog opportunities are fantastic as well. So
Maleware?
yeah, but Hunter with a big poleaxe. Oh wait, no polearm animations.
Yeah, polearms are dog.
Actually, we will be talking about animations soon. Turns out a Drakthir with a sword doesn't look half bad. For other things, right. To move on, Mob Remix ends tomorrow.
This is a sad day for many, many people, because Mob Remix, not for me, because I got bored of it in like 2 weeks, but but people have really loved this experience. People have really, really loved this. People
They have.
Super, super sad to see it go.
Yeah, but it won't be the end.
What?
It will be the end of this, but it won't be the end of the grander sense.
Very good.
The 20th anniversary of World of Warcraft, 30th anniversary of Warcraft is coming up this November, and they do have a team who have just been dedicated to doing things like this. I've got to imagine they're going to try pretty hard this time around for that event. They may even... Yeah, actually, I imagine they won't say anything about the... Oh, wait, no, there's no BlizzCon. Never mind. Away goes the plan.
Yeah.
It would be too early to talk about it at Gamescom, but they could talk about it at Gamescom. Blizzard have got a large presence at Gamescom. We're not a part of it. Not because we weren't asked or anything, just because busyness.
We were asked, man. I don't went. God damn it. I'd have loved to go. No, we're firmly at home because they're like, hey, here's Gamescom. When is it? 2 days for your expansion? Or like, I guess the opening night live big showcase is tomorrow evening at 7 BST. And then Gamescom proper starts Wednesday. That's where they have their whole big, what's it called? The Dalaran 4D ride thing they like talked about, which looks cool as hell.
What?
Have you not seen this?
There's a 4D Dalaran.
Have you not seen this? Oh my god. Is it here? Please let it be in our documentary.
Oh, the Escape from Dalaran 4D immersive ride.
Is it in here? Please in here. Yeah.
I do look at that and I think of Mr. Garrison's novel Automotive Solution.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, so there you have it. The
Oh, that's fun. That's
from
basically
Dalaran 4D?
that's like a VR version of no, it's not the Navi River. The ride inside the James Cameron's big tree in Animal Kingdom, where your avatar man.
John Avatar, yeah.
Yes, that's it. You get to be just like John Avatar and fly in a Banshee, and it's actually that might That's a highly similar ride system.
Well, they're in Meta Quest 3s.
They're
That's interesting.
That's and very on brand, Matt. Very good.
Of course, yes.
Yes, we no longer call them Oculuses. How sad. Although I don't know if it has. I don't know if it has thigh interaction. The thing about the ride in Disney is, the thing breathes under your thighs, so that it feels more like a creature.
I'm not going to say what I was thinking.
Yeah. Best not. Anyway, that's cool. That's cool. It would be neat if they maybe released that as a little immersive video thing,
That would be cool.
because anybody could use that on their on their Oculus. What have they said? Oh, hang on a second. State-of-the-art tech puts players in the beginning of the war within.
Which we have now seen thanks to them testing it on beta.
I have not.
Cards. It was literally like a tiny thing.
Okay.
It wasn't the full thing.
Oh, good. I feel like, you may be like, you cowards. Maybe they knew what was coming. maybe they knew they needed testing. So what this has got, though, is 284 gigabytes of VRAM and 3.3 petabytes of RAM.
I'm going to hit you with a question mark on that one.
Because whenever I saw the VRAM, I just sort of read that as RAM. No, that's VRAM. And petabytes of RAM.
Yeah, I'm going to hit you with if you are involved in the making of this or anything like it, could you please explain why you need 3 petabytes of RAM or how you even design a system for that? Because that's cool as hell.
8 kilometers of cable.
Yeah, it's like me earlier today. It's fucking upsetting.
The technology accounts for 8 kilometers of cable, air hose, and other equipment, and 13 tons of gear. Lovely.
This is
kind of neat.
This is where my subscription money went. Yes, into marketing. Very high state-of-the-art marketing.
No, we can't spill the beans of business.
Yeah, because whenever someone hops on this at Gamescom, they're immediately going to buy all of the editions of the game because it's so cool.
Well, it's Gamescom, so the way it works is they'll do that, and then they'll walk around with a little merch booth and buy everything.
Yeah. And then also this will be a massive tax write-off that the government have also probably paid 80% into because it's VR. God, I love business.
Oh, yeah, of course it's VR.
Yeah.
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 If you're not aware, very often if you want money, you just need to be like immersive, digital, augmented virtual reality. And you sort of incant that like a spell. And then some government department will just give you 50 grand.
They'll materialize right behind you with a check going, did I just hear someone say 4D VR AI assisted? Here's your check. Goodbye. Once again.
Bringing the efficiency of government to the private sector, Matt. Fantastic.
Wonderful. Anyway, yeah, so, and then there's also, because we're talking about this, Matt, as well. There's also
cosplayers.
Camwy is cosplaying as Saltath, as is Satiela. Cool as hell. Cosplayers are actually, like, the quality and speed at which they can throw together stuff is getting really unhinged. People are really goddamn good. And then also, I see people asking about where Ian is. He's at Gamescom.
Good.
So just because you haven't seen him in any videos recently doesn't mean he's, there's no conspiracy afoot. He's not like, I'm out of here, boys. He's just probably working on the game.
Yeah, he's probably busy being game director World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it is funny as hell that this is all part of like the Xbox stuff now. It takes my brain to go, what? Why is World of Warcraft at the Xbox thing? Is there like a partnership going on? Yeah. Duh. Of course. World of Warcraft's the only thing keeping Phil Spencer from headshotting Blizzard.
Or Satya from headshotting Phil. Yeah. More likely that.
Yeah. Just Blizzard, can you stand behind Phil Spencer real quick? Oh, dude, that's dark.
So
but,
they the other thing that's happened is they just posted a new era of Warcraft storytelling. However, because I've went through the transcript and used the demon box to find out what's inside it.
Is this some sort of... I get the vibe that there's some sort of secrets going on here, some sort of conspiracy you want to tell us about?
Nah, it's not. It's just a YouTube thumbnail.
Damn.
Yeah.
Clickbaited by Blizzard. How the tables turn. How the turntables.
I can't believe that Morgan and Bethany have done this to us. Terrible. In the video, I get the sense, probably more of like overall video for general audiences. They've actually published a few of those recently. I'd say pretty good. I guess it's the Wowcast format, right? Basically, they've talked about sort of similar plot things to what we've heard recently, in just this sort of whole War Within cycle. The TLDR is they want to build up their villains more. They want to have a better paced story. Taryn was talking about things, how the plot could sometimes be very stop-start. Stuff we've, broadly speaking, heard before. What I think is notable, though, right, is this is a marketing beat. That actually kind of matters. Now, I don't know if they'll be doing like any sort of paid spend on that, but the point is, the message that they're putting out there is that it's a new era, sort of drawing a line, which is inherently drawing a line under the old era. So I think they broadly know. They broadly know what's going on.
They can't not.
Yeah.
They can't not.
Yeah, because they probably had a discussion where they thought about doing something cool with N'Zoth, and then they realized, where did we leave that one off? That's not.
Blew him up. Whoops.
So, hey, if it's a new era, I would like that. They do talk about more slowly building up their villains, how they're weaving things about.
Very good. Very good.
Weaving things about. No, what's good is the Arathi. I mean, it's not the most subtle. But that being said, looking at how they dress themselves, I don't really think it was ever going to be that subtle. They definitely look very suspicious and dangerous. I think them being set up as a potential villain is quite good. So, and more natural. More natural as well.
Yeah,
they could have just been some random bit player in the expansion, and maybe they sort of will just be that. But it makes the world seem a little bit bigger when there's other groups, power blocks, things that are doing stuff. We initially thought this was some like little cloister that ended up in Khazalgar and just lived there for a long ass time. No, they're just a little expedition from some other continent. And I know that there's like going to be a little bit of rewiring the lore brain. Sort of the whole other side of Azeroth discussion has went on for so long, but always been hypothetical. It's now no longer hypothetical. But I think there's always going to be a little bit of spookiness, lack of comfort. It's hard to trust. I suppose that's always going to be there. But that feels like a expansion. But an expansion to the Warcraft lore, whereas when I think about Shadowlands was, and this sounds bizarre saying that there's a difference between an expansion and an addition. That makes no sense. But when you think about the Shadowlands, it was just, that's what they're like over in Europe. That's the Europeans and their big Euro castles. Fantastic. There you go. And look. Fairies and Irish things. Rory the tree. There.
Yeah, here's the Irish things and also a whole load of Welsh names because they're interchangeable.
Yeah, and then they're like, we like metal. Good, we'll do one of those. Shadowlands just felt very much like, the South Park episode. Is it the South Park episode that's about Family Guy episodes? Where the whole point is there's a manatee, right? There's a manatee in a big tank, and what the joke will be about in the Family Guy episode will purely be based on what balls does the manatee, grab or whatever. So it just felt like they were like, we're going to do the afterlife. And we'll just grab some random shit and make it work. Whereas, say what they're doing with the Arathi. That's more of an expansion in a way that doesn't seem as parasitic. Because this was a bunch of just, in Shadowlands, a bunch of random shit that was just sort of bonked onto the game. And then we had a bunch of lore justifications that nobody really bought to make it all make sense. Whereas this is just extrapolating things that we already know, but not in a way that invalidates stuff that we've done or that's happened. So I guess that's why I'm becoming a little bit more interested, excited. You look confused and unconvinced.
It's not that I'm unconvinced. It's that I'm trying to piece together exactly what the difference is in execution, because there's nothing stopping all of. Instead of going to Shadowlands, let's talk about the Drust.
Oh no! No, not that big missed opportunity.
Yeah, the Drust could have been very much that for the expansion. They could have been the Arathi kind of vibe of, oh, here's this new threat, this new thing that they developed on. I think obviously the problem with Shadowlands was that it was in the box, the Shadowlands box. And I think that's what happened in BFA to a degree as well, where they started putting things in that were the box and just here's the expansion box with stuff in it. We have to put new stuff in the box, and then we don't need to play with those toys again if we don't want to. Whereas this feels a little bit more like, and obviously it's part of the World Soul Saga as like the big thing they're doing differently now, is they went, what about we think? Which is really unfair, but you know what I mean. It's how do we plan this out for a couple of periods of time, or how do we keep doing this like in the future? How do we build in for the long term?
Shit feels more natural.
Yeah, and I feel like that was very speculative with the Shadowlands stuff. That was we're building onto the cosmological side of things, but in a way that was extremely non-committal.
Yeah.
And in a way that by the end of it, we all came to the determination that this shit should have been just shot dead, and we leave it and go, well, that was kind of shit. See you later. Because there was a lot of I guess there's a lot of good stuff in there, but the whole wasn't good. So this time around, they're trying to be very, 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 bro talking like they actually have a plan at Blizzard. That's actually basically the thing. This time it feels like they do. As to whether they execute on that, that's a completely different story, because they could just, the Arathi threat could just show up and be realized at the end of this expansion, or towards the end of it, in the same way. Now, I don't expect that, but in the same way that Dragonflight was like, we've got fucking Farak, and we've got Fearnal, we've got a Ridicron, we've got all this stuff, and it's really cool, and everything's excellent. And they'll just kind of go, and patch, bonk, dead, patch, bonk, dead, patch, bonk, dead. All right. Now, a Ridicron made it out of that.
Yeah.
And the story of a Madrasil did obviously become kind of key, but in a way that was kind of, and that's done now. And that's sort of done now. Whereas this feels like at least they're trying to be a bit more, hey, here's the Arathi. Here's some stuff. So you can think about them later if you want, but there is obviously the same chance they turn around and go, and it's patch 11.2, the Arathi are on your shores, fight them off. Very disappointing, that's the case. I don't think so, but...
Yeah, well, we'll see. There's a big difference, though, between a plan and a direction.
Yeah, I'm going to close that window.
Sometimes you do not... Well, you want a plan, but the thing is... this is definitely one of those sort of overused quote things. Plans are useless. Planning is essential, right? So the plan, it's more about the process and the thinking and you having a good direction. What you kind of need is a direction and then controlled flexibility. Because maybe if people love a character, there's something great example of that. People might look at Breaking Bad and just think, oh, genius, manna from heaven, the best. They planned to kill Jesse off in the first season. He wasn't actually planned to be a major character. But Aaron Paul did a great job. It ended up going great. Jesse ends up being one of the all-time great characters. So, the difference between plan and direction, and a good example of that is Dawn Trail aside, Final Fantasy XIV, because a lot of people think that all of their stuff was meticulously planned out a long time ago. Wasn't. They've literally said it wasn't, but they would leave threads open for themselves. And the thing is, they just do a good job of bringing it all together. The problem with Blizzard, it's not that there was some fundamental massive difference in planning necessarily, though I think there was. It was the quality at which things were pulled together. Because when you see that as a viewer, it looks like an amazing plan executed perfectly. Although from them as creatives, there will have been a plan, but that will need to be modified, updated, changed based on how things actually go, how things actually play, how it flows. whether people like characters or not, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good for this era. Like they know. I think big picture, they know the big showdowns that they have. It's like they very clearly have milestones set out. Like there will be the Iridicron milestone, the Xalatath milestone. Those sort of big beats that are almost guaranteed to happen. But then you do want a little bit of flexibility in how you sort of move through those. So, because the thing is, if your plan is just really rigid, well, then the problem is not everything goes to plan. Maybe you have to cut a storyline, cut a character, cut something. Maybe people don't like a thing that you thought they would like. So, yeah, that's the thing with plans. You want something to have the appearance of being an amazing plan. But that's rarely going to be because the plan was amazing. It's probably because the direction was right. And planning happened. That's the difference. Planning, vital. Plans, not really that useful. But the point is, in doing planning and making a plan, you learn what you're working on more robustly. Great example of that. We made plans for our content releases across, last week, this week, upcoming little while. Have we hit everything? No. But the fact that we stopped and did that planning meant, with all of our different videos, we know which ones can be cut. We know which ones can be delayed. So even though we're not hitting our original plan, the results of our planning have meant that we can be flexible and make the right decisions more easily.
I have a very, very interesting analogy for this. I just came up with on the fly.
Let's
and
go.
It's not food for a change, right? It's how to put this. You've got a pair of socks, right? And you look at your socks when they're on.
Where's this going?
And they look grand. They look sound.
Yeah.
Like there's the socks. Yep, perfect put together bit of sock. What happens?
Oh, that's a perfect bit of sock there. Yeah.
What happens when you take off the sock and turn it inside out? All the seams are on the inside.
Oh yeah.
All the stitching. Yeah. So you actually. Yeah.
Holy shit! Yeah. This is genius.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. If you make something right in that sense, you make something good.
We're then very carnal with our analogies.
Yeah, you have
food.
Yeah.
Feet.
Don't say feet. It was socks, right? It was going to be either socks or underwear, and I thought socks were the funnier one. Fuck me. Way to destroy what I was saying anyway.
I like the idea, though. I like the idea. You can only see the seams from the inside.
Yeah, but the whole thing is that the outside is the part that people see, and it's not covered in seams and bits stitched together.
I'm imagining some character in a TV show that's like definitely a villain. I'm imagining a villain that's like, what if Charlie Day was playing a psychopath serial killer, and you just find him like curled up in the corner, rocking back and forward, just saying, "You could only see the seams inside." Like whatever it was, that like soundbite is just like perfectly unhinged, but it also makes so much sense. So I kind of love it. Yeah, and every time somebody talks about a plan, I start thinking about Cylons and Battlestar Galactica. But I've developed the discipline to not go on a sci-fi related tangent, unlike some other Mikes or Michaels in YouTubing land.
Yeah, you still brought them up though. Look at me, I'm so good at not derailing the story.
Guess what? I'm going to not talk about Deep Space Nine. Correct. Because instead I'm going to talk about... What am I going to talk about? What are we talking about next?
Okay, so I actually had a plan. I had a plan here because,
like the Cylons!
And now we're going to have to show the seams of the plan to everyone. So here's your inside.
You're on the inside.
Here's your inside out sock for today. I was going to talk about the new era of storytelling, and we were talking about, they have plans, they have all this. Not today's sponsor. We don't have sponsored streams. Probably because no one would sponsor our streams because we're unhinged madmen. But what I was actually going to bring was the fact that they have a plan with a character. Illyria.
Yeah.
This is a story plan they have. That
story
they're going to continue with, I hope. And it's the perfect example of them not having a fucking clue what they were doing. And then going, what have we got on the table? What are the pieces we can play with? What's all these things we have to go by? Okay, we've got Illyria, etc., 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 and what's happened in her life? This was just, well, she's a World of Warcraft character, so this was the horrible experience. This was a horrible experience. She had like a slightly okay experience, and then that went horribly wrong. What do we do? And then they pulled that all together quite nicely in what people are saying is, and by people I mean us purely for bait, not true, other people are saying this, Netflix anime series confirmed were 100% real true, which isn't the case at all, by the way. Not at all.
It isn't the case. However, before Arcane, Fortiche did numerous things for Riot. I think including I think they did the Pop Stars music video.
I don't remember.
Visually, it makes sense. So yeah, but like they were working with Riot and loads of things before Arcane was a thing. So looking at this, I would be interested to see, is this in-house? It certainly doesn't look in-house. It certainly looks like a collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's see what studio they did it with.
They don't say.
Oh, Blizzard!
Yeah,
come
they're a
on.
pack of bastards. They don't say. Let me see, because I know it was literally talked about in our member Discord. It was. Yeah, so there's currently 2 guesses for which studio they're working with, and I'd love to know. It was either Studio Grackle, according to an animator who was talking about it in our member Discord, and also Studio Titmouse, who have done a variety of things. I'm not sure it was Grackle, but Grackle the ones who do the Hades stuff and Ex Machina Triller, but it was Titmouse are doing a lot of things as well.
I've been watching a Titmouse thing recently.
Possibly. So it could be something like that. People are saying Titmouse.
Happy Friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of people saying probably
Titmouse.
Titmouse.
Oh, that's the one that's on
Smiling Friends.
Smiling Friends.
I don't know. I don't know anything about Western animation, but so.
Oh, Titmouse are good. They're very good.
Yeah. So as to whether there's a show coming out of this or not, who knows? I would imagine not yet confirmed anyway. However, they do have. I can't believe Titmouse's real name. It's a real fucking animal. As far as I'm aware.
Yes.
So yeah,
you can blue tits, and there's lots of different types of tits out there.
Vox Machina. Yeah, stuff like that. Vegetables. Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff that they're working on.
So, like, Titmouse do quite a lot of external work. So if you just take a look at even their like work page currently, you have Spectre Divide, the big new game, Matt.
That sounds
Spectre Divide,
like a PS. It sounds like a really cool PS2 game that Bungie made after Oni instead of going on to make Halo, or it sounds like a PS3 game.
It is a 3v3 tactical shooter, so basically like CS, but the difference is you've got like a grenade or something that's also another one of you.
Okay.
So let's say I'm holding this corner. I could throw my little, I don't know, another me grenade over there. I don't even think it's a grenade. What?
A thing.
Another body. And then you could zoop into that body so that one player could kind of be holding 2 different corners. It actually looked kind of cool.
Sounds complicated.
Point is, for their, I have to imagine they're backed by a VC, and that means they now have money to do a cool marketing trailer thing with Titmouse. But yeah, they do. Of course, they've done the Liquid Death animated content. Yeah, that's Titmouse as well. So they do plenty of client work, which is to say, if they wanted to scale this up into a series, a place like Titmouse absolutely could do that because they do ship full series.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting. I didn't actually read this before, but it does say, step into the epic world of Warcraft like never before with Illyria Light and Shadow. Our first fully 2D animated short film. First implies not last. I love the cinematic, one of the best. Yeah, it's good as hell.
They did that stuff in Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice. That's
cool. So
Spider-Verse, good stuff.
We'll see.
Yeah.
It would be really cool if they did, though. That, what gets people interested in a brand? What, hooks them in? What I've noticed bouncing...
Attractive characters. This message brought to you by Stellar Blade and the First Ascendant.
There we go.
And also Mecha Break.
Cultural gold.
Yeah.
What I've noticed is sort of bouncing the various forms Xalatath has taken, where You know, different art style, slightly different face shape. Does she look like a corpse or not? Who knows? Any of the things that have been Xalatath going, you know, ooh, do a little smile, whatever, has... Thanks. Nice. I'll remember that. Maybe I'll do Skeletors as a thing. So the things that just end up being like Xalatath looks at camera and smiles, that to wow people, we're just like, yeah, that's the villain, and they're doing the villain stares at camera thing. To externals, that's lame, because it's like, this isn't telling me anything. This is really showing me anything other than that you think she's cool. What I noticed changed things was the cinematic that came out before this one, where instead of just looking at the camera and doing the sort of a duck face, she does things, the manipulating Nephres and everything. Because she just did a great job of showing exactly who she is. So things like that, I think, will work significantly better with people. Things like this. That's good.
What a jawline. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What a jawline. What a jawline. Again. Excellent.
I think little things like that could actually get a bit of brand value, get people interested. In the same way that, like, Arcane was good because it was actually good. Yes, it was League of Legends related things, but it was just good. It didn't need to rely on being League of Legends. Like, I firmly think if Arcane came out, like, obviously it would not do as well by the numbers if it was not attached to League and Riot marketing spend, and Riot have done a good job of cultural capture, I suppose, because that's literally how they make money with their very expensive skins. Mm-hmm. But I think that if it had nothing to do with Riot, but was basically the exact same thing, I think it still would have been... Actually, it would have been better, because it wouldn't have had Imagine Dragons in it. That's the one problem with Arcane.
Yeah.
Come on, Riot. Come on. Oh.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Very, very unfortunate. But point is, it's actually brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I think the likes of this has actually got really strong potential of
Yeah,
that. So, Blizzard, if you want to start like actually getting people interested in Warcraft and getting a younger, younger, more modern audience into it, like, would League of Legends, the movie, have done that? Or would Arcane have done that? I mean, Arcane obviously would do it better than a movie.
There is a downside of that, where I think Arcane was different enough and separate enough that it didn't have much of it. They didn't have as much drive to play League of Legends, just because League of Legends isn't very story driven. Which is where you could see something different here, where obviously you could see people going, well, I like this. This is cool. How do I get more of this? And the answer is play the game, and you can do the stuff and see this character, which is different to like Arcane just being, and here's stuff that's happening, and then you see them in the game, you're like, who the fuck are they? Oh god, I don't know who those are. So I think that, like, maybe the more tied in stuff is better for the connection of the two. Obviously you could also just be really good like Arcane, have its own merit, but I think this itself will be good enough for drawing attention, but it does have one fundamental flaw that I think really hurts it as far as I'm concerned. And they had no option but to do this, but it's a recap in which nothing happens. And it's explicitly delivered as a recap in which she's just saying what's happening. They tie that together really well by having her ask the central question that builds up her theme, is like, had I known how this would turn out, would I have done differently? Do that a couple times and then no, because that's brought us to here and I have to do this stuff. And I think that's really I think that was really good, really well done. But I think they definitely need a case of, they need something that's big and happening. And I think the Ansarek's betrayal of Nephres under Xalatath felt a little bit more like that.
Yeah.
But it's a thing where I would love to see a short that is, here's a short of one thing happening in detail.
Yeah,
and
so
that would probably sell it better than this.
I agree.
Yeah.
I suppose I can see, thinking of like an Edge Runners or something, you could see maybe Arthas in 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And I know that's obviously not particularly connected to World of Warcraft now, but I can see that happening far sooner than I can see, a trilogy of movies with Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
That's probably not going to happen unless, well, I mean, he probably swing about his way to do a Warcraft thing if he could, I imagine. But yes, anyway, that's pretty much the crack there.
Yeah, I don't think there's really,
good.
There's not
art pretty, of course it is. It's Titmouse, we assume,
or whoever it is whose stuff looks like Titmouse. It's very, very good. I know they like Ken Gregory said we're cooking, so obviously there's a lot of internal work done on this. Yeah, obviously this didn't animate it, maybe storyboarded, and obviously they had music and all of that stuff going on. But I think there's nothing really too much to go into this story-wise outside of I really liked how they showed off this scene, because I think people don't quite understand the struggle that she has as a character, and showing it as I'm actually super cracked, but it made my husband afraid of me is pretty good for, maybe I shouldn't actually. Maybe Super Saiyan but bad is, kind of the problem, and it does build up to something cool. Also, again, I think this is because it wasn't framed like action happening. It lost some of it, but it was. If you wanted to look at World of Warcraft or Warcraft action happening, it's the best thing we've seen in fucking years. The best thing we've seen since a Warlord cinematic. Basically, we were like, oh, there's a Warcraft person fighting stuff. Oh my god. Do you know how hungry we were for anything like this? Even if it is fairly quick and it's just here's, Illyria blowing stuff up. And I did see people be like, why did Trallian get mad? You're like, because
his wife just turned purple and scary.
No. Well, yes. But the analogy is Trallian was a good God-fearing man. And she just became the devil for a bit. And he's like, that's not okay. And we're like, oh no, we have struggles here. Oh dear. So yeah, I think they did a great job of that, and they have a nice plan, of where our character's going that they used this to sell, which they largely like. All of Illyria's stuff in the War Within is perfect after this. Before this, I was like, that's going to be a hard sell, her acting like this. And then they go, here's your story. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you thought about this. Yeah, sound, I actually trust you. I completely trust you. So that's that. I think this, the more they do of this, because I like the genuine excitement I've seen out of people saying this is kind of nuts. Like, kind of nuts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such an S tier move from them. Like, S tier move.
Yeah. I mean, Titmouse may have a busy calendar. We'll have to see. Like, at least with... Well, what are recent examples of this going on? I guess Edge Runners with
Edge Runners was an unbelievable version, like,
and Arcane. I know at least with Arcane that Fortiche had to scale up to make that happen.
Yeah, that was a very weird. We kind of own you in a way. This project.
Yeah, that thing where you may be an external partner, but if one company is all of your business, congratulations, you are as good as acquired.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, interesting. I really hope they do more of this. What I think was really... what got my head going with this is how it is different to what they've done in the past. So they did one Xal'atath thing in what I think was a really strong showing of the style they'd already established. This, clearly an external partner, stylistic departure. That I think shows more. Oh no, I don't want to be like, this shows more blue sky thinking or some disgusting, corporate phrase.
It shows that all the stuff that John Haidt was talking about in recent interviews of like, obviously he doesn't work there anymore. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? He went somewhere.
He did.
He went somewhere interesting. Anyway,
Wizards of the Coast.
Wizards of the Coast. That's what it was. And I was like, oh,
he's a Hasbro man.
He's off the dude, man.
He's a Hasbro.
Yeah, he's a Hasbro. Yeah. So
God, so lame. I'm sorry, John.
I can confirm this is internal, not external.
What?
If that's true, do you know how fucking nuts of a statement that is?
What? Oh my. Okay, that is pretty nuts.
That's Like that's I genuinely struggle to believe that. I'm gonna need to see some proof before I believe that.
I'm simultaneously impressed and excited, but also a little bit like, that probably means they couldn't scale this into a proper thing. Although, I mean,
deeply concerned.
There you go. That's a spec to work to. God damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
So to recall something that happened earlier in stream, is this where my subscription money's going?
If so, good.
Yeah.
I wonder, could you click through to that just to see what it is performing like in terms of views?
Yes, I will.
Because I guess it's always weird. There's what they naturally do on the platform.
1.1 mil views 4 days ago.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Now,
35k likes.
What is that compared to other things?
Let me just make sure we have this actually on the television screen. The television screen says? We do not have it. Fantastic. Let me get that real quick. Yeah, we are professional streamers, by the way.
That's okay. I can just go to the Warcraft. Oh no, it autofilter Warcraft logs. No, I want story.
Warcraft logs. He doesn't want... Man, oh, nope. I won't talk about it. I will leave that for a different time.
1.1 million in 4 days. The Threads of Destiny one is 761k views in 13 days. You know, the very expensive, more, I don't want to say photoreal, that one.
Yeah.
918k in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
because of course it was just stuff. It was just, I mean, it was really cool stuff, and I definitely, I don't want to be like the people who worked on all of that, you know, terrific. It was more of a sizzle reel. It wasn't really telling a story.
I
think, you know, you look at the Illyria one. Yeah, the Illyria one's like, here's 5 minutes, big story, all of the sauce we can muster, and stylistic experimentation. Man, that being internal is like, that being internal is interesting to me, just because that's not, to my knowledge, that's not much of what they've worked on before.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, who's doing that then? What size of team was that? That's nuts. That's nuts to consider. Especially because it looks so much like other styles. It's like, did they just go into Yoink a whole load of people and go, oh, what if we just, you know, buy half a studio and have them do that internally? Yeah, that's it. They they clearly would have poached people or something like that. Well, you know, obviously poaching has, you know, maybe there were layoffs in the animation industry and they went, you fucking big Yoink time. Maybe something like that happened. But that's fascinating. That like, it's clearly like, it's obviously, you look at just YouTube views, and that's not the perfect metric, right? It's not the perfect metric. But this is in a specific style, and that's really the difference, right? The real difference is, here's a specific style and having action, and it, you know, gets over 50% on our main story bit that was our own, like this different style. It literally just works. Literally just works. Jaws, here's the Western anime style.
Yeah.
Off we go. Which is a bit unfair to call it, but you know.
Well, I think the merging of things is always interesting. Like for some shows, well, I mean, your big ones, at least, okay, the big ones in my head are like
Castlevania, Dota, Dragon's Blood.
I was going to go for Avatar and Korra.
Avatar's interesting because it's so much older.
Well, that's exactly why.
Yeah.
It
was more modern stuff.
It has a lot of, like, it's obviously a lot of anime inspiration.
Yeah, whereas there's more of an industry around that now.
Yeah.
Where you look at all of those studios and they are basically going, well, we are heavily anime inspired. You look at even, what's it called? Oh my God, what's it called? Please. My brain doesn't function on Monday evening, that's for sure. It's completely gone. What was I even talking about? Anime inspired things. Spider-Verse. You look at Spider-Verse, you look at, say, Puss in Boots, the one with Death Wolf thing, can't remember what it's called, The Last Wish. That was like,
that was great.
Watching that, I was just like, this is so, the people who made this love the same shit I do, and I can tell because you've you've got all of the beautiful like styles and beautiful, I guess, like ways to show things off, all the inspirations. And then you've even got like, I haven't watched X-Men 97, so that's probably another one to look at. But there's another, this is a bit of a weirder example, but Creed 3.
Creed a
3.
notable anime.
Yeah, so Creed 3 is a movie, a live action movie. It's the 417th movie in the Rocky series. But what's his name? Michael B. Jordan is a big anime fan. Has talked about it in things like that, in a lot of in a couple of different bits, and he directed Creed 3. It was the first one of the movies he directed, while also like being the star. And that, like, there's a couple of scenes in it, and a couple like the boxing scenes. You go, oh, that's anime style. That's absolutely, you're definitely using shot. Like, there's a good few case people went, that's just a shot from Dragon Ball Z. You've literally just recreated that, but in your boxing movie. There was a huge what's it called? I guess there was the huge like abstract scene, which was really heavy-handed, where they're fighting in the thing, and it's all about, you know, this guy's past being locked up. So instead of the ropes become actual jail cell. And it's all very on the nose, but it's super, super, super cool. And like you can see that inspiration come through really, really heavily, like around the place, and it's working. It's working super well.
Yeah.
For everyone's just going like, yeah, everyone likes that. Why? Duh. It's the same reason like manga's been the shit out of comics in the West forever, and then comics are like, why don't we just like figure that out and sort it? And they're starting to come around doing that.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, thank God.
How so?
I don't even know.
Very good.
I don't know specifics in comics.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
I've just seen the general trend of people going, okay, we're kind of building back up. But none of that's about World of Warcraft, except the fact that it now has an animated sequence.
Yeah. So big win. Big win. More, please. I think. Hopefully, if there's like a green lighting decision that this could be pointed to. You did say like about YouTube views, and yes, YouTube views in some ways don't matter. However, the YouTube algorithm is a very, very, very powerful thing. And it's an interface of lots of different things. Does somebody like a video or not? Because they do actually have some qualitative indicators that they use. But a lot of it is watch time. Now, I think that'll do a pretty good job of getting... I don't know what its watch time would be, but I imagine it's performing quite well. The challenge where it's harder to analyze things like this is because so much of it can also be driven by users just going to find it. Because there's a lot of WoW people want to see this. Though I do just wonder if this is doing better as its own bit of content.
That's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining showing this to non-Warcraft people and being like, this is cool as shit.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, but I don't care about Warcraft. They're like, yeah, but you don't need to.
Let me see what the thumbnail is. Strong thumbnail.
Yeah.
Yeah, strong contrasty thumbnail. Yeah. Okay. It's obvious why that works compared to the one that's just, see that? It's just, there's Zalatath looking.
Yeah, who's that? Who's that spider? Cool.
Whereas thinking
action, bow, shooting arrow.
Yeah. Like, look, you could definitely imagine, how many whistleblowers can I shoot through a Mr. Beast video? That's roughly that thumbnail. Like it's got. It's just more action and shit. Anyway, right, enough of this YouTube nerdery.
Fuck, that was good.
And let's go back to World of Warcraft, where you may be all excited about stories and characters, but you know what you can get today? Not today, maybe soon. Legion Mythic Plus weapons now available from normal mode, Matt. It's a new game. Actually, there's a little bit of transmog news. If you remember the transmog drama. But yes, the old Mythic Plus weapon drops will be back. Now, this is actually, some of these look really, really nice. These were there whenever they did Time Walking Legion Mythic Plus.
Oh, yes.
That, of course, went away, but now these have actually been added to the game. So, GG Blizzard. Very good. You can see that there's quite a few nice little rewards.
Nightborn stick.
Nightborn stick.
With a sharp bit.
And let's dovetail that into the actual systems update. That is, oh my god, there's a few things here. There's a few things.
A few things. Not even one
Yeah,
thing.
well,
More
actually,
than
one of them before, and it's still transmog. They have added transmog.
Yep.
Transmog's been added to the API. Now, this will not mean anything to you right now, but it could mean something to you soon. As an example, right? Say I wanted to make a Notion page.
Oh no, not again.
I'm sorry. Or, whatever it is. And maybe for some reason, I just want all of the transmogs that I've unlocked in my WoW account to be synced to a Notion database. Well, if using Zapier or Make.com or just doing it, manually, you could just pull that from Blizzard.
Yeah, you know the way like Wowhead has the achievement tracking stuff?
Yep.
That goes, here's the achievement you have, here's how close you are. You can they will be able to add something that will collect, you look at an item on the web page and go, do I have that? And the answer could be there on the page. Not saying it will be. They need to add that functionality, make it first, but that's something they theoretically could do.
Here's what we can see. Just to take a look at the endpoints, there is character, basically collections, transmogs, yes, for your character, and then for item appearances, appearances will have, let's see, ID, search string, okay, yes, slot type, etc. One of the things that I've sort of enjoyed fooling around with is just like hacking random shit together. I meant hacking in the colloquial, like how we'd say that here in Northern Ireland, not the like, I know how to use Zapier, therefore I'm an indie hacker.
Oh, you meant it that way.
I didn't.
You
I
did.
didn't.
You did.
But Matt, I would.
You did. Don't worry.
Well, dear, an awful impasse.
Got him.
Learn how to do it for real with Boot.dev, who will be sponsoring videos later this month on the channel.
Of course, yeah. So realistically, you'll be able to find some third-party stuff that has what shit you've collected.
Turbo nerds can make tools and functions that maybe you'll be able to buy. I don't think
Probably
any
not.
paid thing will be there for this.
No, because
but anyway,
not,
it's cool. It'll be great for third-party tools. As an example, let's just say I wanted to make like a little app, and you could put your little
application.
Woo. Application. Just hop onto Bubble, and make a little app with as a part of the hashtag no code movement. And then I'd look at this and like, oh god, the API, oh no, code.
Oh god, there's code, oh no.
But yeah, if you wanted like some app that's just all the things but on your phone,
Yeah.
the likes of this make that possible.
Well, not all the things, because not everything's trackable, but
Yeah, stuff like that.
Nice.
The other thing that's changed with transmogs, though, so this was a bug, but sometimes a bug is actually a feature, and the bug gets fixed, and people are distraught. And this happened with transmogrification. So there are some big wins.
Yeah, it was literally the "it's so over, we're so back, it's so over, we're so back" actually in action, where it looked like you were going to beta and you were doing a quest, and then you would get everything possible for that quest. You get, you finish it on your paladin, bam, your mage has the quest appearance from the cloth gear. Sorted, perfect, everyone's happy. And then that went to live, and then it didn't happen, and everyone went, what, is this broken? What's happening? Oh dear God, oh no. And then Blizzard went, yeah, that was a bug. Sorry about that. And went,
No!
what do... a highly requested feature appeared on beta for a little bit, and you have the fucking audacity to call it a bug? Fuck you. Go to hell. There were also some more measured responses. But this obviously comes here with someone going, that's enormously disappointing. I was excited to do a lore master and get all the quest reward mogs this way. I feel very deflated now. And then there were some people saying, well, now there's more replay value and you get to do lore master 4 times. Isn't that a wonderful value proposition from your video game? I went, no. And then, of course, Blizzard were pushed to making the good thing happen. which is basically, you know what, boys? Fair fucks. That was a pretty good idea. We're going to put that in the game. God knows how this happened internally. God knows if this was a feature that they accidentally turned on and then went, oh shit, wasn't ready. Or if it was a bug and then they went, oh, that was a bug, but recreate the bug and make it happen.
We need to change our official position, Matt.
Do we?
We are now pro bugs.
We're pro. Oh, yeah.
Apparently, it works.
Yeah, every mission in Helldivers 2 I play, I lose intentionally.
That's the real reason why we need to fire all the QA testers. All the QA testers have been removing features. The bastards. Oh my, we found out what's wrong with gaming.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? I've been having fun, this M+. We need more affixes. No. No, but realistically, what they're actually doing is the next patch after the release, which I assume means 11.0.5.
Yes.
They could possibly mean 0.7 or 0.1 because a patch, major patch, minor patch.
No.
I'm assuming
that would be 0.5.
Yeah,
by how they talk about it, that would be 0.5.
Yeah, I'm assuming 0.5. So there you go. Once you hit that, you will be able to get two big benefits, which is non-cosmetic, class-restricted gear, kind of its appearance collected. Retroactive to gear and inventory. Which obviously is the problem of, I picked up a warrior set on my paladin, it's plit. Why can't I use it? Blizzard, what are you doing? Isn't it fixed? Or will be fixed, rather.
Yep.
And then there's quest appearances, which we just talked about. It'll be retroactive. If you've done a quest, you'll have all of the appearances possible from that quest. Which means for quite a lot of us, we will log in and have our, our transmog collection fucking balloon massively.
Oh, yes. So, we got that.
Yeah.
Now,
Good stuff.
in terms of other things, it is that, like, a funny little situation where not a massive amount of news has happened because the expansion is just about to come out. But there are a few things to talk about. This is still not going to be the longest stream in the universe. One of the main reasons is I've got to publish 2 videos when I get home. One of them is the monster key binding video. If you are, you've already got for our members over at Bellular.games, which we will soon turn into Bellular.gg because that's better.
Way to spoil it.
It's the stream audience. You guys get to know. We'll just leak everything.
Yeah, this is officially called the leaky zone.
The leaky zone.
We are your leaking boys.
Great. So if the roof goes and we're getting leaked on, that's just set dressing. That's just our legendary attention to detail. So yeah, we'll probably change the URL because .gg gamers. It just sounds better. Rolls off the tongue in a more satisfying way. But anyway, yes, so for the key bindings video, you guys have already got it over in the site, and the video version will be out shortly after the stream. Yeah,
so for a little bit of clarity on that, just because people might not be super sure, basically the video is a collection of like smaller tips and stuff. Then everyone has access to the planner, which is the keybind, the actual spreadsheet. But then the article over on the site is substantially more expansive and has a lot more advice and a lot more diagrams, things like that may help you with what you're actually doing in terms of where you're...
Matt decided to go big nerd.
It's going to be quite rude to say this, but if you and your big sausage fingers struggle finding the key, I can help.
I'm definitely imagining that as like a Mr. Plinkett sketch.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, yes, that's over on the side if you want more. But you can also do level 90 speedrun guide. Mate, Midnight's not out for a while. Like, all right, we can wait for that. I know you're probably made 80. No, don't speedrun. You've got early access. Buy early access. That's a guide.
There you go.
Buy early access.
We've just made our first YouTube short.
Buy early access and do it and take your time.
Faria, where's our creator code?
Yeah, good question.
So we can get people to buy early access.
Yeah. What about small hands with limited reach? So it's the keybind guide is very specifically for you.
That's it.
Not explicitly. It's not explicitly people small hands.
Which is to say, whether your sausage is big or small, Matt has the video for you.
Jesus.
Your sausage fingers, that is.
Yes, the Lord.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. That'll be out. You can go and you can fix all your keybinds just in time. Because realistically, I swear to God, the amount of button bloat we have this expansion is fucking nuts.
I know.
Dragonflight just kept adding more and more and more. And now you're like, I would like to play Holy Paladin. And then as soon as you make that determination, a fifth finger sprouts out of your hand automatically. Feels that way anyway.
Yeah.
It feels that way.
But Matt. It's all over. It's all over. Look at this. Is TWW too hard, Matt?
Yes. Yeah.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
Oh, see,
This
that
expansion's
balloon appears to be floating towards a big spike.
Balloon. Balloon.
That's a balloon. So,
World of
Preheat.
Warcraft's Hindenburg.
I'm not going to read anyone's posts. Preheat hates the game. J.B. hates the game.
Well, everyone knows that.
And there you go. I'm sure Max and Scribe hate the game as well.
Which is actually really funny because JLB is very, very, very supportive of healing being extremely difficult. Because he plays a healer and likes having fun.
Well, Preheat has said that he is folding himself in half and bending over backwards. I wonder why. Apparently, he says, to try and convince myself that Mythic Plus and the War Within is fun. Between the bugs, trash mechanics. But what does he mean? Is it the mechanics of the trash mobs, or are the mechanics trash?
It's the mechanics of the trash mobs. It's the mechanics of the
yeah.
trash mobs.
So,
because every other bit of trash is something that'll wipe your group. You don't do it.
So, Matt, could
Yes.
you explain?
Could you expand on this a little bit? So, I haven't had the most experience at M Plus because doing it in beta is a terrible experience because everyone on beta is just, I don't know, they're weird. That's the most I'll say.
Players like Preheat and J.B.
Yeah. And I also have EU to US ping because they don't have an EU beta, which is perfectly fine, I suppose. It just really doesn't feel good. But realistically, I think, oh no, I can't pull the whole dungeon with my Demon Hunter anymore, and I actually need to take it slower. Cry. I get where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. And this is where we have a very fun problem. And I think I've explained this before in World of Warcraft and on the stream about like difficulty and stuff. Some players want this game to be brutal. Some players want this game to be easy. Where those players have an intersection, there are problems. Blizzard cannot design for both of them. Especially when more difficult things end up being, more fun. It's more like, oh, well, you'll have more fun if you do the harder thing, and that's true. But true for some. But what actually happens is this is kind of nuts. They've really tuned
That's
up.
the title. The War Within is nuts.
Yeah, they've tuned, or like they've turned up rather.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff that's happening kind of all the time, really. So I've noticed that like healing specifically feels like you've got twice as much to do as DPS, and one of the things I was with healing is I haven't healed much M plus in live in a while, so I don't know that. So there is like it feels like you have to learn the dungeons quite heavily, more so than before.
Good heavens!
If you don't know damage profiles, you're going to have panic moments that you can't do anything about. That's the insane thing. Like DPS have so much to dodge, so much to interrupt. It's really heavy on the cognitive load side of things, of constantly paying attention. That with a little bit more difficult or more like as Dragonflight talent trees have kind of evolved, we have gotten back to slightly more complicated DPS rotations than usual, and a lot more tools, a lot more utility keys.
Does that mean we're getting closer to Mists of Pandaria?
Not in the same feeling.
Certainly not in the dungeons.
Yeah, not they don't feel not in the way it feels the same. I could sort of argue possibly in complexity. So there's a little bit more complexity in every angle, and it's like your class is a little bit harder to play now. Your hero talents are mostly fairly passive, but they do have interactions in a lot of cases. And you go, okay, well, there you go. That's cool, interesting. That's fun. But then that goes in, and also you have to you interrupt way more than before, generally speaking.
Well, that's okay. Players found it easy.
You also
in the past.
you can't rely on stops. You can't just blinding light, because then all the mobs will just cast right away again. And that's even worse in some cases, because what happens is you will, say there's two mobs casting. One's half a second away, one's a second and a half away. Okay, Well, there's a second gap between the cast amount. That gives some vague degree of staggering incoming damage. If you stop them, they'll both start casting at the same time again. Which means you've just turned Shadow Bolt for half your health, bit of time to heal, Shadow Bolt for half your health, into Shadow Bolts for all your health. Which is a really, it's going to be rare that happens that way. But it's like the kind of feeling what happens where you're like, I'm going to use my button that buys us a second. Oh, it's just made life worse. Oh, shit.
See, I think about season 3, where they really took some of the difficulty down, and we saw in time rates, be pretty much always, other than like Fall of Murazond, they were above 80%, right?
Yeah.
Some closing in 90.
Mm-hmm.
My memory's fuzzy in the numbers, but it definitely seemed like the win rate went up, the number of runs went up. So that worked, but here, will this feel like a real? Will this be whiplash?
I feel like this is going to be some whiplash. It depends on how it goes live, because they could easily go, and here's a 20% aura buff on everyone, walk over mobs, kill them faster, because obviously kill rates and heal strength makes it really important, right? That's really important. But at the minute it seems like it's really overwhelming, not like in a this is impossible way, but in a you're not going to have an easy time. There's a lot of movement as well. Like I think the example I will now, obviously Grim Batol, right? Grim Batol had nothing to do in the original version. That's something, but not a huge amount. Now it's fucking crazy. Like there's the Draconid boss that basically did nothing of any note. Now has so much going on that you're kind of panicking. Having to heal and move loads means that if you're like a bad healer, you will struggle like hell. It's going to be more a test for healers than anything else, I think. And we'll see how that pans out. But I'll just say, as a healer, I can't wait to be blamed for everything in Mythic Plus. Yeah, there's going to be a teething period at the beginning of this expansion, unless they nerf like crazy, where there's going to be like, healer didn't heal me? Oh no. You're shit. To hell with you. I think there's going to be a lot of that going on. And that's the same case of if a DPS doesn't interrupt, well, that's a healer problem, isn't it? Because the game doesn't say, the DPS doesn't know that they died from not interrupting. They're just like, my health bar went to 0. My responsibility was to keep your responsibility.
I fixed it.
Keep my health bar up. Yeah.
I fixed it. And we can leverage all the H100s that Microsoft have acquired to solve this problem.
Yep.
Easy. And Satya will love it because it's AI.
Yeah.
You know the death recap?
Yes.
Now, we need World of Warcraft Copilot, available in Windows machines only.
Oh, dear God.
So, whenever you die, GPT-4o tells you whose fault it is.
Always says tank. Sorted.
There we go.
Sorted. Yeah, it's interesting. Used like the problem of like healers having either too much to do or too little to do is probably going to be similar enough at the minute. Just because if you don't use your defensive right, you don't use your CC right, and if tanks pull aggressively without having a solution, it's going to kind of be game over for a lot of people. Now, there's an element of maybe we'll outscale this because the like item level testing things is kind of obviously they keep us reasonably low on beta, so we don't just walk over stuff. But it is it concerns me personally, not in a massive way. I don't expect this to be the game's dead forever, but I am really expecting a fairly rocky launch on this front.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the reasons for the extra time before the season starts to get things in a better spot on their front. Maybe
1 week can be pretty radical in terms of change, especially if it's 1 week of, oh dear, we are going to be absolutely flattened. That could certainly motivate. That could motivate them. However, it's bound to be in their mind that they can't unnerf things, because that'll feel really bad to players. So with difficulty, you end up in a weird thing of, undershooting and overshooting. Sometimes it may be a little bit better to overshoot with how hard something is because you can always pare it back down. Whereas if you undershoot, then people just have the big happy zoom loop bonanza, and then it feels terrible whenever you make the difficulty closer to intended.
Yeah.
So certainly dilemmas. I think what's been interesting is this has been very clear feedback that we have seen from the higher end Mythic Plus people. I guess a question is, and I say question fully because I've not been watching streams and stuff. I wonder what Keystone difficulty they are doing things at, because
this is the crazy part, and this is what is
this
is what's making things very difficult.
It's over.
It's very difficult to get people to do anything less than a 10 on beta.
Less than a 10.
Yeah.
Right, so gear stops at plus 10.
Yeah.
So when you and your guild are doing some plus 8s on week 3, will it actually be nowhere near as bad? Because plus 10 is where... Yeah. Plus 10 is where both Tyrannical and Fortified are up. So that's quite a jump in difficulty. And then plus 12 is when the Xalatath 20% buff happens, which will just mean, like, scaling just to the tits.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between a plus 12 and a plus 14 is going to be big. Because, that's sort of the additional 20% is there on top of the normal Keystone difficulty inflation.
Yeah.
So we're having all this feedback, and maybe this is what the big pushers are talking about. I wonder what it will be for.
I'm going to say a lot of this is also mechanically. Like, the actual level of being punished for failing mechanics is really high.
Okay.
And that's just in raw damage. All that stuff is kind of, it's like baked into the actual difficulty. It's not all skilling. This isn't. Obviously, there's a point where you go, well, you can outgear and kill mobs faster than they become a problem.
Yeah, so this isn't
This is a case of, like, you walk into a room in Stone Vault and you pull 2 or 3 of the shamans and they put Earth Burst totems down, and one of those Earth Burst totems go off, you fucking die. Or you lose half your HP and the totem doesn't disappear, it goes again. Or 2 of them will wipe your group, and you have to be careful for that. Or even boss, like the Stone Vault boss with the 2 of the, can't remember their names, the 2 fellas you have to kill at the same time. You remember in, what was it? Is it Grimreal Depot? There's the 2 bosses, and one's the wee missile fucker who jumps around.
Oh, the first boss, yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one's the big one, you knock him into the wall. It's a vaguely similar concept, where there's one big scrapper and he's throwing scrap around the place, and one's throwing missiles and setting lava up. And in WoD, if you kill one and there's the other one's left alive, they start to ramp up damage. In Stone Vault, if you kill one, the other doesn't start to ramp up damage. They just start to go, I'm in rage now. Bam, 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 bam. Insane amounts of damage output. So the window you have to kill both at the same time is way smaller design-wise than it was in WoD. And that's kind of the case all over the place. There's a lot of layers of, there's a lot of layers of skill ceiling in this.
Right.
But in ways it'll punish you as well, and that's baked into the mythic mechanics. So you're going to feel that at Mythic 0. You can outgear to some degree, but it's still like, it feels like they've upped the skill ceiling this substantially.
I would say.
And I think that might be a better thing, but, in the idea that this is you progress Mythic Plus throughout the season by getting better with your gear. There's going to be people who are really good at the game, who are going to hop in and do plus 10s the first couple weeks and be like, easy, fine, this is grand, we'll push keys now. There's other people who are going to look at us, who are going to try to do a 7 or 8 and be fucking obliterated, and they're not going to want to build back up, I imagine.
This cuts through to something that's been floating around my head the last while, and that is how much design there is a design question.
Yeah.
And in a lot of modern breakout hit games, you see less but better. Now, that's not me saying that this is bad, but it is to say, if you have a bunch of designers and they're making a bunch of mobs and they're putting mechanics in all of those mobs, the design of those mechanics is a design decision. But how intricately designed every part of that dungeon, all of those mobs, that's also a design decision. And I think there's a lot of times where you can make a game that is harder and in some ways designed better, thinking about, a dungeon where, you see this thing of beauty, a group of players go in, the hunter's firing off a trap, an enemy CC'd, everyone's just mind melded together, and it's amazing. Because there's so many challenges, but they've perfectly used all of their tools. And you could look at that and think, man, that's some beautiful gameplay. Isn't it amazing that this game has allowed for that to happen? And then you cut to a normal dungeon run, tank goes in, pulls everything, everyone screams, dies, and it's terrible, and they all quit the dungeon, and the key depletes. So, how much design? How much design is the question. I mean, if you're going to say that Fortified is a thing, and actually, it's not trash, that's part of the dungeon, then they should have abilities and should matter in the same way that... I can't believe it. In the same way that back in the day, in the Cataclysm Heroics, back in my day, I mean, there'd be mobs where, it was a great thing as a hunter where you could...
Freezing trap?
Trap and Wyvern Sting?
Wyvern Sting, yeah.
Yeah, you could double CC mobs. It was awesome. But you'd have to do that whenever people were under geared, or you would just be melted.
Yeah.
Of course, wasn't a time trial.
Yeah, that's the big difference.
Now, in my head, that was like pretty great, beautiful design. Because I felt like, oh, wow, I really am a hunter. Look at me using all of my hunting abilities. Awesome. Whereas in a Mythic Plus... it's now no longer about, can I do my hunter thing good? It's about, can I do that really, really, really fast? While also dealing with Xal'atath dropping 10 orbs and, 10 orbs on top of me because of an affix that I then have to deal with, while those orbs also make it far harder for me to tab target the things that I want to CC or interrupt.
Yeah.
Because of playability. And that's another thing of, how much design is good, because all of those mechanics can be good, can be interesting, but it's it's just the cognitive load.
Yeah. Well, this is something that this is another, I guess we're just talking about M plus design now. It's great. Tay just said, you cannot be strategic in a dungeon and have a time limit. Well, that sparked a very interesting thought, because you can't be strategic in a dungeon, but you can be strategic in that dungeon in another run. And isn't that the point of an arcade-like repeatable mode where, oh, you failed, try again? Now, the game doesn't support that. The game doesn't support that because the game is do pugs, because you don't have 4 people who have like 2 hours spare. You get the perfect group comp, all that stuff, right? That's one of the things. And also the deplete. The depleting is still in the game. I don't understand. I don't understand why you drop a key level. I don't get it. But there is definitely a case of you fuck up the dungeon. Sweet. Let's go again. And the difference being is you do the dungeon again as a whole piece versus you do the pull again as a whole piece. Because if you do the pull again as a whole piece, what happens? Resources. Okay, we'll wait for cooldowns this pack. Oh, we'll wait for hero. The dreaded... what if we just wait out Lust and it takes us 2 hours to the dungeon, but we do it. And that's the kind of the thing that keeps happening, where there's a little bit of, you can see the game they're trying to make. Is it the best fit for the audience? Is it the best experience overall? And that's like the big question. Now, I personally think that in an ideal world where I didn't have to rely on 4 other players that I don't know and will probably never see again because I don't do above +10s, because I don't have enough time to... Not that I don't have time. I don't particularly enjoy that kind of style of gameplay. I like it. I would very much enjoy the... I enjoy the getting better incrementally. I enjoy the... I've done the Stone Vault 10 times now, and now I don't have to think about the boss anymore. Yeah. I just do it. It just happens. which means I get to add a little bit of flourish, I get to add a little bit more damage, a little bit more whatever, I get to heal better, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I love that. But
I mean, see, I imagine
but that
Flourish.
doesn't work with pugs. That doesn't work with pugs because you want to get the fucking pug to get in, get it done, get your gear and get the fuck out, get your Great Vault thing. Because what really happens is you go, I can't wait for this idealized Mythic Plus experience where I get to go in and show a little bit of flourish and see how this goes.
Every time you say show a bit of flourish, I imagine, you
a little fucking pirouette,
see,
like.
No, you CC an ability and then you do a 360 in your gaming chair.
That's about right. So I'm like, oh, this is great. I love that. I love this in theory.
Yeah.
And then it turns around, you go, and actually, what just happened was that healer was slightly off in their timing, or was new to this dungeon and fucked up that pull, which meant the mage or warlock went, fuck this, I'm out. I don't have time to waste on you plebeian player. And then you have to start again, and that's like 10, 15 minutes of your day gone, and you don't get any loot, and you're like, I fucking hate this piece of shit game. You all day forward, no play for a week. Definitely hasn't happened to me before. I had people on beta leave after like a pull gone bad. And I'm like, bro, it's beta.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And in order to hit their testing goals, they need to be playing with good players.
Yeah, it's mad. Like, it's mad. So, like, I get the timer idea. And I think it would probably be very different if the timer wasn't there. But it's kind of crazy. I love the game that they're theoretically making. It's just when rubber touches the road, it tends to go fucking veering off into the ditch. And I think that's the big problem with some of the difficulty in this. So I'll be keen to see how I'll be very keen to see how it pans out. I'm super hopeful that their idea of more difficulty just works. But I definitely expect teething issues.
Well, Matt, in conclusion, they were the worst of dungeons. They were the best of dungeons. And Morgan Day was involved with them.
Was he?
And he was interviewed
Good for him.
by Max. Taking us swiftly to our next topic, where there's actually there is a not that we have a news klaxon, but it would be time to sound the klaxon because crest discounts for your alts.
Hell yeah, what about Flightstone discounts for my entire fucking game, assholes?
They're already in, Matt.
I said my whole game. I didn't mean alts, I meant the whole game.
The whole oh.
I mean remove Flightstones.
Well,
get rid of them, the fuck. Anyway, yes. Sorry to derail you.
I have been thoroughly. I have been derailed. It is now time for me to become railed. Back to the show. The crest discount for alts. Morgan Day said to Max that while not confirmed, in and around a 30% discount off the top of his head for alts. That is a discount on the amount of crests needed to upgrade gear on your alts that will likely be, following similar rules to the Flightstones, where with the Flightstones, if you've already got something in that slot on your warband to whatever item level, anything up to that for your Flightstones is 50%, maybe 30% for crests, which it ain't perfect, but you know what? I'll take it. Other things. Heroic Week will not return in Season 2.
Yeah, that's for expansion launch and also because they need the extra time to balance the fucking.
Yeah, that's probably please God, we need a week of data, please. Which makes sense. Also, Severed Strands raid buff. So that's just the raid buff that is happening in the new raid. Basically, the buff is shared across your entire warband. Now, that's pretty good because I believe you get the buff via items from killing bosses, isn't it? So
kill a couple bosses a week, get your buff turned up. Buff turned up on other cards as well.
That being account wide is kind of class.
Yeah,
I think so. That's really good. And he says that should mean they won't have to do as many nerfs, which is good because guess what? There's Blizzard moving the goalpost, but then there's Blizzard empowering you to walk closer to the goalpost. And you know what? It's like those little speed walkers in an airport that are only turned on 50% of the time. It's like where the floor. Conveyor belts, that's it.
I love those so much, man.
Class. I mean, that's basically what the buff is. So, it feels better than the goalpost being moved. It's just you're moving towards it a bit faster.
I actually really, really like those.
Yeah, they're great. They're so
like,
much
like
fun.
really like them.
And the worst thing is when somebody just blocks the middle of it.
I just like really aggressively move towards them and then move out of the way.
You just like Giga Chad walk through them.
No, I just walk directly at them and move. It's great.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah. I literally
the sense of speed.
I was thinking about them recently because I was watching some Taskmaster clips on YouTube because that's where my life's gone. And there was a task involving like timing your walk on those alongside walking on the other lane as well. And I was just like, I really want to go on one of those again. What's wrong with me? That I'm like, oh yeah, remember that time I traveled? What was the highlight? Going the conveyor belt thing. It isn't true, but I do like
the
this.
simple things.
Yeah.
For some other things, baseline dungeon timers are going to be more forgiving. Now, this is also combined with a recent bunch of changes that reduce the timers.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Also with him giving every mob in the dungeon a shotgun.
Yeah.
Like,
So
yeah.
they say, timers were increased in an effort to make them more forgiving compared to previous seasons for the average player. More strategies and finesse will then come into play with the activation of the Challenger's Peril affix at 7 and above, where deaths cost 15 seconds up from usual 5.
Yeah, please stop just going full send into packs. Please, thank you.
It reminds me of, Matt, as I'm sure you're aware, I'm a world champion of World of Warcraft dungeons.
That's right. Legion, was it? Was it Hall of Valor specifically?
Halls of Valor,
Wow.
Legion, Beta, Creator Invitational, whatever the hell it was. Do you know what? Right. Team EU.
No, you can barely finish a +3. Like.
That's it. We just went through the dungeon reasonably.
Yeah.
You know? It was...
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't quite the speed of German bureaucracy. It was a little bit faster than that, but, you know.
Steady power walk.
We dotted our I's, we crossed our T's. Meanwhile, over in America, we have Towley just going big crackhead on a Vengeance Demon Hunter, I think. So he was zooming all over the place. They were using Shroud thingy on Rogue. They were doing trash skips all over the place, and it was great because they do a bunch of trash skips, and then the boss would kill them. They'd spawn back in before the trash.
Yeah, if you do things right the first time, you don't have to do them again. That's the solid European way of doing things.
Yep, forged in the crucible of endlessly killing each other for thousands of years.
I was more thinking, what if we take summer vacations and go at a reasonable pace all year as opposed to burning out? What if we try that as a people? What if we try that? Oh, no, that's too boring for Americans.
Interesting. There we go.
Just a wee bit of cultural imperialism. No problem, like. No problem.
Yeah, it's the funny thing. Who knows? We just won't know until this stuff actually sort of has contact with players.
I fully expect to be a shit show. There's a little bit of like the drama whore in me, just like, come on, please launch and like have people saying I can't do a +3. Have it be the fucking
Invite Ghostcrawler back to do a guest post on the World of Warcraft blog that's just called "Wow, Dungeons Are Hard Too."
Very good.
About 3 of us old, ancient, geriatric millennials. I don't think we're geriatric millennials at all.
I certainly feel it sometimes.
Because I think we're like the youngest a millennial can be.
Yeah.
That's a bit spooky to think about. Deary me.
Yeah. Indeed. Indeed.
No, I don't need to talk about Cataclysm Heroics again. But suffice to say, all of this has happened before. All of this will happen again. Mythic Zeros, the final little thing. Mythic Zeros do not give as good gear, relatively speaking, as they do. However, they're on a daily lockout rather than a weekly lockout, which I understand why they do it, but I would rather they were weekly and better because I want bang for my buck.
That's just because you don't like playing the game.
That's it.
I am torn on this. I don't like this. Those are two incompatible statements.
no, this is good. Your strategy is just to dazzle and bewilder them. We can't pin him down to a single position.
Yeah, it's what was it you always say about like opinions held loosely, strongly? Strong opinions held loosely.
Okay, continue in your Johnsonian manner.
Yes. Yeah, I like the idea that Mythic Zero players get to do things more than once a week.
Okay, but
I
fair.
do not like the idea that Mythic Zero players who don't want to fuck with the timer being a pain in the ass are just left into, yeah, your gear's shit now, deal with it. I don't like that. So that's the kind of Teflon knot. Yeah, that's it. We're like, I think that this is probably intended for if you do your Mythic Zeros in a week, and then you're like, what do I do? And then, cue the meme of like the Indian man sitting outside, looking on the swing, looking out into the thing and having nothing to do. It's like that. There's that to worry about, which I'm sure this is to solve the problem. But also nerfing the rewards is going to stop them. It's fine. You can go do delves. You don't like a timer.
Go do delves.
Which is good. Like, I'm really hoping they do not turn around and be like, actually, go do delves was kind of our core pillar. Instead of making M+ fun for more people, we were like, fuck you, do delves. Do delves, assholes. So that's fun. It also depends on, I don't know if this accounts for Great Vault rewards or not. Because if it doesn't, then we're gaming. But if it also lowers their Great Vault rewards from Mythic Zeros, then that's going to suck. But we'll see.
There we go. Also, patch 11.0.5 has hit the encrypted test servers.
That's the wrong one. Oh my god, patches already.
Yeah. It's just like Legion. I remember, Legion came out and immediately there was something in the PTR and I thought, wow, this is different from the last year of Warlords of Draenor YouTube I've been doing.
Yeah, and then it stopped for expansions.
And then it stopped. But now it's back.
This time, it's sustainable.
From an external perspective, it is sustainable. We don't know if this is in a true way or if it's a little bit like refueling your ships in the 40k verse, where the way just to because you don't know, rather than do anything automatic, the person with the extremely toxic, radioactive, terrible death fuel has just got to pick it up, and then hopefully they haven't disintegrated by the time they've been, they've put it in the engine.
Yes.
So hopefully that's not what it's like in the WoW team. Hopefully not.
I'm sure if they would like to, they could comment on that. I'm sure they won't though.
They are unionized.
They're unionized.
They are not unionized yet.
No.
They are unionizing.
Once they're unionized, they can say and do whatever they want. They can turn and go, yeah, fuck Blizzard, I hate it here.
That's how it works.
I hate it here. Pay me more.
It's just going to be like the auto workers again.
Yeah, what's that? Working here is terrible. Pay me twice as much or I'll kill you. Fantastic. That's unions. Please note, I am completely joking. I don't know what I'm talking about. I have no strong opinion on unions. I really am fencing here, aren't I? But yes.
Well, now I think having no strong opinion is in fact a strong opinion on an important issue like this.
That's true. Is M0 open during early access?
Nope.
Per sod, M0 is not open for
Heroics aren't open.
6 fucking months, mate.
Heroics aren't open.
That's not true. It's
blatant misinformation.
Yeah, let me actually, because you asked and because I confused you, let me literally tell you.
And a good thing to top off the stream with.
So they are
to top off, to finish
M0
off,
opens season 1, week 1, which is on the 11th of September at 6 a.m.
Basically,
CST.
Early access to close out the stream by answering the title of the stream.
Not worth it. Fucking
By,
don't
of
buy
course,
it.
not actually answering it, because the answer to the question, dear viewer, lies within you. No.
Roll the dice, flip a coin.
Basically, if you want to spend this weekend being chill, leveling your characters,
this weekend,
and seeing the big new world and things, sure. You can make, as an adult, you can make that decision, and that might be worth it to you.
You can just make decisions.
If your goal is to go turbo giga gamer, I mean, It buys you more days of leveling characters, but that's it. There's no meaningful gear progression or anything like that that really will be advantageous. Perhaps you could get a head start on farming crafting materials to sell.
Yeah, but the bots will do that for you.
The bots will do that for you. But I mean, still, it's historically a pretty high-value activity to do at the start of an expansion.
It's actually... let me just see which button I hit, because I hit a button. And I don't have feedback. It's fine. There we go. Okay, sorted. So, where's it at? Here we go. I'll bring this up again. This is made by BB Messi on Twitter, because it's very, very good. And I don't want to take credit for it. There's the profession change, which is designed to make sure you... you know the way tier 1 or Q1 materials became fucking useless and pointless?
Yes.
That is changing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Getting Q3s and Q2s will be a lot harder. And you will never graduate, at least as their intent, is that you will never graduate out of getting Q1 mats. So Q1 mats will hold some value throughout the expansion. Until the bots overfarm them, of course. But that's generally their planning there. Their planning there is for Q1s to continue. So if you want to farm a bunch of Q1 mats at the beginning, that's fine. It's all fine. All fine, all good.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah, personally, look, my plan is to see where we get in video production and hopefully be able to spend like just a bit of time just proper chilling. In terms of things, right, what I'm going to do, Matt, I'm going to make the executive decision to kill this stream, but I am killing the stream so that I can give you content, because we have got the key bindings video, which I should have up within 60 minutes. Yeah, within 60 minutes of the stream ending. And then over in the news channel, we've got a video about the changes that Valve are making to Steam. So I got to publish both of those. I will do that. Then I will sleep. And then tomorrow, I will record 2 videos.
Yes.
Which are tomorrow's video and the day after's video. And I think you're working on, per the sheet that I made, let's see. You're working on
a UI guide. As to how that'll be done tomorrow is very up in the air, because I haven't started it yet. Nice. But also I have lore walkings to record tomorrow, because Jared and I are going to record the lore walkings for maybe this week and next week. Get them out of the way. People can
big double.
see those released, which you may have noticed we're actually kind of on schedule mostly with lore walking, and they're getting very good. Outside of the fact that I still have a few little audio things to work out, such as these mics being different levels, which is now fixed. Very good.
Yeah, it's actually nice now, Lorgan. We've pretty much got to the sort of the good weekly cadence now.
Yeah,
I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, the last few have been fucking fantastic. We did, for reasons you will all understand, we did release one on Dalaran. We talked about Dalaran.
We have a video, just don't really know why we've decided to release a video about really the history of Dalaran on the 21st of August.
It's because it's cool to be back on Dalaran, man. Being there, chilling out, waiting for the expansion, it feels like Legion again.
Feels like Wrath of the Lich King again.
Yeah.
Knowing that, this is the 3rd expansion where we just got to be based in Dalaran. It's great. I can't wait. And that's why we've decided to do an in-depth history video on Dalaran, which we will, for no dramatic reason, release the day before the expansion comes out.
Yeah. Did you know that Dalaran has actually been destroyed 3 times already?
Oh my god.
And in a spiritual way, a 4th. The Purge of Dalaran. Purge of Dalaran could have been conceived as a destruction.
I really enjoyed purging Dalaran.
Yeah. You know what the fun part is? Every time Dalaran gets destroyed, it gets rebuilt. Especially through magical means. Because of the Eye of Dalaran. A literal MacGuffin made to rebuild Dalaran after it got burned down in the First War. If you think that's cool, go check out Lore Walk and you'll know more.
Yeah, if I had have started my channel a few months earlier, it would have been called Henry Kissinger Gaming, because I enjoyed the Purge of Dalaran so much. But alas, I started it in the Throne of Thunder patch, not patch 5.1.
Fantastic.
Sadly. Anyway, yes, that is the crack. As for other things, well, we're working on add-on guides and sort of
all sorts of things.
General questions you may have. We will be there to answer those questions pretty much almost on the daily in terms of videos. That will be fun. We'll
Pray
see how
for
it
us.
Goes. Pray for us. But you know what? I feel it. Some of I don't know, whatever it is, the old thing that used to be there. It's kind of hard to communicate, but the start of WoW expansion was always just this like good happy time of woohoo! I know exactly what I have to do. Because outside of that, you're thinking, okay, what video we're going to do? What's the schedule? What's the writing and the progress and the script and the lore and the blah. But when it's a new WoW expansion, you're like, just know what to do. And then you find cool things. You know, maybe it'll turn out that there's a whole bunch of treasures scattered around the Isles. And you know, you can spin up a new alt and just earn 20k gold by picking them up. That could be a cool little thing. Just, you know, all of that, like discovering just cool shit everywhere. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
No, I just want to, like, Latrix Plus quest skip my way to the end of the campaign and then complain there's nothing to do and then go back to watching Wistoria. That'll be good.
World of Warcraft player confirmed.
Yeah.
That is the most peak WoW player thing
Yes.
that you could possibly do.
Yes, I would like to not enjoy the expansion whatsoever and then go back to watching shonen anime.
That's it. We are going to purposefully play in a way that means we don't see the content, appreciate nothing, hate the game, and can then complain about it on YouTube.
The Demon Hunter player special. I really am quite biased towards Havoc Demon Hunter specifically. For reasons. So yes.
Yeah, that's it. Do you feel a fell eruption coming? Hang on. That's the wrong spec, isn't it?
Fell Eruption? No, that's their stun. That's their optional stun in the class tree. You're thinking of Fell Devastation, which is their version of I-Beam for Vengeance, which is their self-heal. I think
I am. I haven't played one since not 5.3, since 8.3.
5-3. Man was ahead of the game. Like, jeez, oh, bias.
Ah, dear. Yes. Okay. Good. I'm going to go publish videos. Be on the lookout for the videos. Other than that, I mean, if you're a channel member or if you're a member over at Bellular.games, then there is lore walking to listen to. Mm-hmm. I really want a way to merge those things together.
Yeah.
But it's so annoying. Like, if YouTube members could just, like, have access to the site, but the problem is we literally don't get emails from YouTube. Yeah. So we literally can't create an account.
Yeah, they need to.
So we'd have to do a self-serve thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will there be a launch stream?
You see, it's weird.
There you go. It's weird.
I'd sort of always been against that because I wanted to keep the, like, chill, play the game bit sacred in a way. It's some of why, well, I've had the odd flirtation with streaming. I mean, not in this sense, because this is hang out for a chat.
Back in your DF days.
But
billion years ago.
Like Twitch streaming, I guess. But then it's like you want to log in to play a game when you want to play a game. You know? And like the times I've enjoyed WoW the most is just when I've been like, I'm just going to randomly go to Antorus and get a thing or whatever.
I hope you don't do that on launch night. Like, I go to Antorus, farm some mogs. New expansion?
Mr. GM's already taken Molten Core, so got to claim something. No, you know what I mean, though, right? Like,
yeah.
It would be fun to do, but I'd also be like, if I was streaming while playing the game at launch, then what I'm doing is trying to keep everyone entertained, trying to keep up a good mood, all of those things, because
you're streaming,
and I don't mean that in any like woe is me thing. Yeah. I mean, if I've turned on the stream, that means like by default I'm making an ask of somebody's time, so it is only respectful to actually try to do a fucking good job, right? Whereas for the actual playing of the game bit, I've always just liked that being the little, Zen chamber, so that I can listen to the music and do things to the characters, which I think is probably the most long way of saying no, but I want you to understand why, I suppose, like why I would say no, because I don't know, I just think it keeps the relationship with the game more pure and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Right, I'm going to go and publish videos.
We actually do have a super from Thomas Santiago. This Santiago saying, want to buy UI tips on making edit mode layouts auto swap based on raid sizes? I'm sure there's a function somewhere in the game to do that, but that might be, you might need an add-on for that. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. I literally know exactly what you're talking about, where you have to move, because the raid group is, I think it's centered.
Oh, yeah.
Where if it grows, it doesn't grow one side. So if you have it perfectly there for, say, 10 or 20, because I usually have it in the perfect place for 10, because when I raid, it's mostly with our guild and it's 10 to 12, to sometimes up to 14, 15 people. Then you join something else, and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go do anything else, LFR, a pug, whatever, and it's 25, and now suddenly your raid icons are in the middle of your fucking screen. You're like, cool, wonderful. And that's just how that changes.
I know what we need.
So I'm sure there's an add-on to change how that grows, or something to swap that based on something.
Channel sponsor Squarespace.
Yes.
Known for having responsive designs across different desktop sizes. What we need, Squarespace, can you make us responsive raid frames?
Yes.
Please.
So if I can find a solve for that, Thomas, I will definitely put it in a UI video.
That would be very high value.
As to whether I can, I promise nothing. But that is really, really tilting. It's really tilting. Really bad.
Pain point identified, which is good because that actually gives us a direction. So, like, definitely, yeah, if there's a specific thing in your UI, especially if it's mostly stock, that just makes you want to go postal, definitely let us know.
Yes, do.
Because it's like whenever we're doing the UI guide, we don't want to just do add-on Bukaki, because that's going to be another video. Which I like add-ons, it's fun, whatever. But for the base UI video, we want to do as few add-ons as we can. So that like just people have got a good extensible baseline that won't bug out and explode. And will also still look like WoW. Because back in the day, we always used to just be like, here is the Elf UI profile that Matt has made.
Yep.
Which was great, but Elf UI doesn't look like WoW. And I want my WoW to look like WoW.
Dragonflight has been a big change in my approach to that, where if anything looks vaguely out of place, I'm like, nope, go away, be gone. To hell with you. Even like, I probably won't run with having details on screen most of the time. I leave it there if I need to check stuff, and I can just toggle it with a macro or just type or whatever. But even my like details thing is literally just here is Frizz Quadrata and a basic bar. I know there was a cool skin that Dakar showed that I probably will include in an add-on guide or something. That is a very cool
DPS.
Very, very cool like Dragonflight or like a WoW base UI style thing, which I think is very, very cool. But I generally am like, the less on my screen, the better.
Now here's the thing. To just so you're aware of my lived experience.
Oh no.
Now,
Help.
if I don't have a DPS meter to look at,
You have to look at the mechanics.
no. No. All that will do is increase my chances of alt-tabbing onto Twitter.
You have a...
Don't worry, I just said that. It's okay. I can guarantee I always tab back by the time the raid pull timer has hit 2 seconds. Bro, that's my guarantee.
You're pre-pull, man. Were you not considering playing mage for a bit? You're gonna need more than fucking 2 seconds for your pre-pull, mate. You have to learn how to play the game for a change.
Damn it. Simplify Arcane Mage again!
Please don't. It's
No,
already.
don't.
Please don't. It's fine as it is.
Oh, it seems to be
It's fine as it is. Do
Like
not remove anything. Do not add
the
much.
2 alts that I'm considering. Main will be Paladin because I want to be able to do everything. And yeah, Hunter because of nostalgia. Honestly, kind of Mage because of Fire and Arcane.
Yeah.
Going big Kel'Thas mode looks fun as shit. And yeah, Arcane just looks really good. And a nice thing where... Because Arcane was always like special in a good way and a bad way. You always think that if they streamline it, they'll ruin it. It seems like they've actually streamlined it, but really successfully.
Yeah.
Just like quite a feat design-wise.
Yeah,
so
it's very good.
GG.
They almost wrecked it by removing the nether precision bug. But they fixed that, so it's good.
Oh, good.
They unfixed the bug, so it's good. Which is great. I don't have details because I either get demotivated by it or I turn narcissistic if I pump.
There's only two states of being.
That's my lived experience. That's why in other game I use illegal activities very rarely. Just because illegal activities will turn me into a fucking Turbo Hitler so fast, man. Like, as soon as I'm like, what the fuck do you mean?
Standard Hitler was... should not have to be Turbo Hitler. Oh my God.
Like, I don't say anything 'cause I'm not actually horrible. But I'm just looking, I'm just like, I am the best person in this group. I am God. Fuck the rest of you. And it's literally because I just have a high burst opener as a ninja.
Yeah.
Great. You know, you can just toggle details on at the end of a fight. That's what I actually do, generally speaking. I do. Because I was actually thinking this earlier. I was talking about this earlier. You only need... Like, there's very few decisions you can actually make off having damage meters open.
Oh, yeah.
They're mostly better for post-fights when it comes to checking for deaths, checking for healing down, everything like that. The only decisions you can realistically make are if you're in a pug or something, you can determine who to raise if they die. Battle rest, rather. And you can determine, like, people do like, okay, well, it's all going to go wrong. That guy's pumping. I'll hit him with bop or, you know, life gun or something to save their life. As opposed to, yeah, that guy's a shitter. Let him fucking die. You know, things like that. But beyond that, there's not really much decisions you can make.
The way you said life cocoon really sounded like life coom. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, so maybe.
Good. Right, I'm going to go publish video. Well, I'm gonna have to walk back to the apartment. I have to feed the fish and the axolotl. But after they've been fed, there'll be a video.
Yes. So thank you very much for tuning. It's very good to be back after a short break.
Yes, we shall be even more properly back as the Mondays roll on. I look forward to it.
We actually do have a determination to make on that.
Oh,
we do have to decide if we continue streaming on Monday or pick another day. And this is very specifically. I'm saying this on stream because it's actually pulled our raid for available days. And
oh no!
There's only 2 available days across everyone except for us 2. Which is...
Are we the problem?
Monday and Thursday. Which means if we are to set Monday as a raid day, that would obviously interfere with stream. So that's a determination we have to make. Could do 1 day a week rating.
Nah. Monday and Thursday, I can fuck with his raid. That's a good raid schedule.
Which means we'll have to determine. Well, once Heroic Week start, or once
it's unfortunately our based
rating starts, we'll have to move stream again.
Our based Chad planned raid time, which was about 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, we were going Saturday morning. Like,
I kind of wish we did that.
Yeah, but no, people weren't happy enough. Like, people weren't happy with Saturday morning as an idea, and you know, whenever you have the good faith version of yourself that goes, clearly people have things to do with family and friends and such on Saturday morning because they live lives.
How understanding.
That's the good faith version. The bad faith version is you fucking cards, you pansies, motherfuckers. Get up early, raid, have a good Saturday. Great.
That's it. The only way you can join Matt's raid group is if you get up at 4:30 in the morning, do a brutal session of weights, and then get ready to raid at 7:30 a.m.
That'd be so good, man. That'd be peak.
That would be kind of peak.
Extra incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be like, oh, yeah, the work week is done. It is Saturday, and I have just executed the
boss. I've executed the boss. It's dead. Fantastic.
Done.
Oh, wait, I'm playing Bloody kind of warrior. I've death striked the boss.
It's okay. Do you know what? We can do 8:30 a.m. tier 11 delves.
I'll be doing plenty of 4 a.m. tier 11 delves. Don't you worry, mate. Don't you worry. You can probably manage that if you play it on an NA server. If not for the fact playing World of Warcraft at any ping above 70 makes me actually become a murderer. Theoretically, not literally. Anyway, we've carried on long enough. It's time for us to go. Thank you very much for watching.
Yes, I shall publish videos. Hey, have fun. You know, launch weeks don't... It's 2 launch weeks.
They only come once every 18 months now. Yay!
Twice every 18 months.
Yeah. 2 launch weeks. Blizzard, so generous.
Back-to-back launch weeks.
So generous.
Oh,
Thank you
incredible.
very much, Blizzard, for letting us experience launch twice. Hopefully it breaks both times.
And with the final spiteful note, we take our leave. Have a great week. See you shortly. Well, past me will see you shortly in a key bindings video.
You're really good at ending stream.
I really am.
Yeah, goodbye.